Hello and welcome to this video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and if you're not, hopefully watching me make a potato and potentially participating in this tutorial will make your day just a bit better. So let's get right into it. Delete this cube and add in a UV sphere. Now go into edit mode, and if you press 1 on the numpad and switch to face select and press Z, go to wireframe. If you press B, you can select the top half of the UV sphere, press G, Z, move it up a bit until you get this pill-shaped looking object. Now, we're not here to make a pill, we're here to make a potato. So we're going to need extra subdivisions to get more deformity. We are here to make a potato. So press Ctrl R for loop cut, scale up until you get about equal square looking faces. And then you can click, right click, and as you can see we've added all these extra faces. Why do we need those extra faces, you may be asking? Here's why. If you go to the modifiers tab, add in a displacement modifier, and click new, then go down to the textures tab down here, and change the type from image or movie to clouds, you can now add in your own little potato displacement. Now I found that the settings that work for me best is to change the scale to a 0.8, and I've been having the best results with that. And with displacement, I've been changing the strength to 0.25. Feel free to play around with that if you don't want your potato to look exactly like mine, because it's very cool to have variety. And actually, at the end of this, I'm going to show you how to make a variety of different potatoes. It's really cool in using object information. Now, if you go to the shading tab and create a new material, it's time to actually make our potato material. Now if we add in a Veroni texture, for now plug the distance into the base color. As you can see, this looks a bit like hexagon-y, and it looks like it's stretching out a bit. Like if I scale it up on the z-axis, you can really see what's going on. But to fix that, select your Veroni texture, and if you have the node wrangler preference on, you can just press Ctrl T. Otherwise, add in a mapping node and a texture coordinate node, and change the scale for the z-axis up until these hexes start looking a bit more normally sized. This is looking more like a beehive than a potato. So to fix that, change F1 to smooth F1, and now you can see that it's not looking so hexagon-y anymore. But to really show you what I'm trying to do with this Veroni texture, you can finally plug the distance into the normal, and you can take it out of base color. Now add in a bump node, and plug the distance into the height of that bump node. As you can see now, we're getting this really weird looking potato, which is okay because we are going to add in some RGB curves, which is basically like adjusting the contrast except being extremely specific about it. So change the curve to look more like an upwards curve like this. I'm not really a curve expert, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. But you kind of want it to make it look like there's these little holes in the potato without absolutely destroying the look of like the easing into that little spot. So I'd say this is about okay. Right now it looks like there's a lot of holes in it, but I'll show you how to fix that in just a second. So add in a mix RGB node, and then add in a noise texture. Plug the FAC of that noise texture into the bottom of this mix RGB, and plug in that mapping node vector into the vector of the noise texture. Now, as you can see, the noise texture isn't being stretched at all, and you can change the detail to 16. Now this is looking like a rock, not a potato. And that's because first, you want to adjust your factor. And I think you should go for 0.1 because potatoes' holes are pretty noticeable, but the little displacement isn't as noticeable, so I feel like this works for me. But whatever works for you. Change the strength down on the bump node, because once again I said this is very intense. I think 0.2, 0.1, I'll just stick with 0.2, why not? Looks good for me. Now for color, add in another noise texture. You can change the detail up to 16 and add in another mix RGB node. Now you can plug this noise texture into the top color here, and you can plug in this RGB curves right here into the bottom. And change mix to multiply. And now you can finally plug the color into the base color. But nobody asked for a black and white potato. So we're going to add some color. Oh, and I forgot to mention, plug this vector into the noise texture right here. Now it's not getting stretched out anymore. Change the FAC up to a higher amount. I don't know why I left it such a low amount. Now before we add color, add in another RGB curves because we are going to turn the contrast up on this noise texture. So I recommend making it kind of look like a wave, as I did here. You know, I think I might swap these and then turn that factor down a bit so we can kind of control how noticeable this noise texture is. Yeah, I think that's about good. Maybe even a bit less. Alright, so to add color, add in, you know it, a color ramp. And change the primary color to about the brightest color you would find on a potato. I'm just gonna make a wild guess. That looks about good. Now for this dark color, you can actually use this eyedropper tool on the brightest color, turn the value down, and turn the saturation up. That's what I find usually works for me. You do you. And now you can also plug this color ramp into the subsurface color. Now for subsurface, I found that 0.4 works for me. This is basically the translucency of the potato. If you put a flashlight up to the tip of your finger, you'll see the light shining through your finger. That's subsurface scattering going on in your finger. And we're basically simulating that in the potato because most foods and stuff with moisture, I don't know, I'm not a science whiz, but we're basically getting the potato to have that translucency effect. Now if you change the subsurface radius, I feel like just turning all of these to 1 helps you not make it look like skin. It just makes it look like a translucent potato. But as you can see, we have successfully made a potato. But wait, I said that we were going to randomize this, didn't I? Well, you're in luck. Add in an object info node, and for random, plug the random into the location of this mapping node. Now, as you can see, things are going to change a bit, but not really. So now if you copy and paste this potato, or just Shift D, as you can see, the textures are going to be applied differently each time, which I found is really cool. It's really nice if you need more than one potato. But thank you guys for watching. I really hope this helped out. This is going to be hell to edit because I think I was super unclear. But we'll see. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.